Chef Buff Army, what's good? Today, we're talking about deloads. I mean, we know the cornerstone of any smart training program is getting better. This means doing more sets, more reps, and ultimately more weight over time. However, you cannot beat your performance every single week. Think about it. If you increase your deadlift by 5 pounds every single week, in 1 year, you'd increase your deadlift by over 260 pounds. In 10 years, you'd increase your deadlift by over 2,600 pounds. We know this to not be the case because the world record for the deadlift is approximately 1,000 pounds. If you lift 10 more pounds every single week, in a year, you're going to lift 2,000 more pounds. In 10 years, you're going to lift 30 billion pounds. That's got to be a world record. You see, when you become better, your body takes time to adapt to that new stress. You have to give it time to recover. That's why any smart training program will include some sort of periodization. This means the training program has a structure which allows you to recover. So it has deload weeks, weeks that you train more intensity, and other weeks that you train less intense. Ultimately, with periodization or some form of progression, it allows you to maintain consistent progress. If you think about it on the most basic level, it makes absolutely no sense to give a max effort day on a day you feel like shit. If you push yourself too hard when you're not feeling optimal, you'll ultimately run yourself into the ground. Which, interestingly enough, is what most guys do. Because when we enter the gym, a lot of guys will think it's a question of manliness. Oh, I can't lift this weight today because I'm being a pussy. No, it probably just means you're not training effectively or recovering, like at all. Maybe you should consider a deload week. A deload week is when you reduce both the volume and intensity of your training program for that 1 week to allow muscular recovery and, more importantly, neural recovery. These are essential. Any serious lifter practices deloads on a regular basis. So, the question is, when should you do a deload? Well, there's a couple key signs that you could tune into about yourself to indicate whether or not you need a deload. Here are the most prominent signs. Number 1. Your performance is suffering. Your lifts aren't getting better. If anything, you've plateaued or perhaps they're getting a little worse. 2. Mentally, you're just off. You can't focus in the gym. 3. Persistent low energy. If the phrase beta male would describe you in the last couple weeks, then you definitely need a deload week. If I get low energy, I just think to myself, somewhere out there, there's another bro cooler than me. 4. This is a great sign. Injuries or tightness are constantly accumulating. So you're exercising, you may even be foam rolling and stretching afterwards, but you find you're getting tight, sore, achy, you're not recovering effectively. So if you're feeling like a sack of shit, you should consider that deload. Maybe you should consider not being a pussy. Here's what you do. Reduce all your lifts by about 20 to 40%. So you're lifting at approximately 80% of your 1 rep max. Now you'd be about 40 to 60%. To give you an example of this, if you lifted 200 pounds on the bench press for about 6 reps, then you break it down. You lower it to maybe about 130, 135 pounds for 6 reps. Not only will you reduce the intensity, how much weight you lift, you'd reduce the load by about 20 to 40% once again. So if you did 20 sets in total, now you'd be doing more like 10 to maybe 13 or 14 sets. For that week, the workouts will feel light, and that's the intended effect. You want to emphasize speed and technique. And remember, speed is absolutely critical towards building size because the force you generate is mass, the amount of weight you lift, times acceleration, how fast you lift it. So in that week, focus on explosiveness. And there's ample evidence to suggest that training speed will help with neuromuscular recovery. Trust me when I say that most guys don't manage stress effectively, and your CNS, your central nervous system, is not very efficient. So doing a deload week once every, say, 6 to 16 weeks is a very smart idea. By giving your body time to recover, you'll be amazed at how much more progress you make over time. Guys, that is the video. I hope I explained why deload week is very smart and should be an absolute staple in your training program. Make sure to like, share with friends, and subscribe. I'll be seeing all of you in the next video.